is not your only choice at the end of 2019. Zip form will be in effect through 2020. You can use either system. Zip form is being provided by NAR, and TransactionDesk is being provided by AAR. You don't know what's going to happen to Zip form at the end of 2020. It may go away, or it may get renewed. I know everybody thinks it's going away.
Yeah, but I thought TransactionDesk bought Zip forms.
No.
Oh, they didn't?
Nope, that is not true. I made a call to AAR twice because I was given wrong information. Everybody thinks that it's going away at the end of 2019 and everyone's in a panic. It's not. If you're new and you haven't used Zip form before, don't use it. Just go straight to TransactionDesk and learn it. They're two different programs. They both work well. They both do sort of the same thing, but they're different. And there's no point in learning both if you're not going to use both. I still use both because I'm an old dog learning a new trick. I'm kind of a geek though, so I like learning new tricks on the computer. All right, so the system is a cloud-based transaction management system designed to help you manage your listings, sales, and leases online. It provides everything you need to manage, execute, and process deals, including electronic forms, e-signatures, client communications, and document storage. So to set up your profile, let me get back to how you sign on the first time. You're going to go to aaronline.com. I'm already logged in. Let me log out. When you go to AAR Online, you should see this screen pop up. You see right here where it says login with single sign-on?
Yeah.
This is where you enroll for single sign-on. I've already done it, so mine pops up right here. This is what you're going to do the first time you get into TransactionDesk. After that, you don't have to come back here to get into it. It'll be right on your MLS, which is what makes it really, really. So you're going to log in, and see right here is where you can get to TransactionDesk or e-sign if you wanted to get in there.
I'm sorry, that password, is that the MLS password? Is it the...
It's going to ask you to create an account.
Oh, so it's all brand new account?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we created a contact earlier named Fred Flintstone. And Fred just absolutely loves my house that I have listed on Phelps. And he wants to buy it. Once you get your TransactionDesk set up, you can see right here at the top, you can get to it here.
Cool.
Okay? Or this will take you directly there with this property. We'll get to that later. I want to show you how to set up your TransactionDesk before you do that. You want to set your profiles up, set your preferences up. You do that one time, then you won't have to do it again. So I'm going to click on this one to take me to my dashboard. This dashboard can also be configured any way you want. The first thing I want to show you is right here, the help button. These handouts, and by the way, I have handouts if you guys don't have them. I did not print up all the handouts. I printed out a couple of them. We're not going to get through all this. I'm creating a 3-hour CE class because it would literally take me that long to go through everything on here. But we're going to do a down and dirty, get you started, okay? So your guides, this thing, they're all right here. Anything you want that you can't figure out, you can go into the help section and look at the guides. You can look at online training. They have live support, and they have help videos. So anything that you don't remember about today, you can go back in here and look at it again and learn. Or if you need to talk to someone, feel free to call me and I'll happily help you. So these gears right here are your settings. The first thing you want to do when you get in here is set up your preferences. You're going to set up all your user information. And it's all pretty self-explanatory. Click update when you're done. Office information cannot be changed. It should be correct. I would double check it. This is where you're going to type in an email signature. so that all your emails will have your name and phone number and contact information. If you have I have a banner, an email banner, so I stuck my email banner in there, and it'll also go on your fax cover sheets if anybody ever sends faxes. I don't. And your personal photo. So on your page, it's going to show up like this. It's going to tell you to click on the box and you upload your photo. Okay? Any questions? All right. Awesome. Okay. Once you've got that set up, we're going to go back to settings. We're going to look at program settings. I just went through these real quick. Most of these are default settings. It's very self-explanatory. I haven't changed anything except the only thing I changed were my email settings here. You can send it as a link or as an attachment. I prefer an attachment. You do whatever you guys like to do. The Authentisign print driver. If you want to email documents, send documents directly to Authentisign, you can download this print driver. It acts like a printer, so you would say print and click this driver and it will send the documents to Authentisign. There are other ways to get your documents into Authentisign. This isn't the only way, this is just one of your choices. And they also have a DocBox printer. So if you wanted to keep all your documents in your transaction desk, I'm talking your executed documents or any documents that you need on your file, you can put them in your DocBox. This is the same such situation. You download the driver and then you can print it to your driver and it will send it into your DocBox. That's if you choose to save everything in your transaction desk. It's really designed to have everything all in one place. I personally haven't gotten to that place yet, but I'm still, using zip forms. So here, once you get that all done, let's talk about. Go ahead.
I missed something on email settings. You said I can send it as a link or an attachment. Send what as a link or attachment?
If you're sending a document to someone.
Oh, okay.
Through TransactionDesk.
Okay.
And Authentisign, did you go over that already?
I haven't gotten to the actual signing. Is that what you mean?
If that's like a new DocuSign or e-sign?
No, I haven't gotten to that. We're gonna talk about how to do a transaction and then sending it to DocuSign or Authentisign. They're all different. E-sign is also still available. That is through AAR. So they're not all interchangeable. DocuSign, e-sign, Authentisign, 3 different programs. They all do the same thing. All right. So on your dashboard, you're going to have all your little links here. You can create a transaction straight from here, but there's a much easier way. I'll show you. You can start a signing. You were asking about if you wanted to sign a document. You would just click here and upload your document. If you want to email documents to clients, you click here and email them. And then if you need to upload something into your DocBox, click here. You can rearrange this dashboard to make it look any way you want. You can go to the help desk to do that. That's kind of your own personal preference. So let's talk about creating a templates. We need to go to forms. That's where I was when you guys came in. I had already started on this. So I have a template for listings and I have a template for purchase contracts. You're going to go in. Let's start with listings. You're going to pick the documents you need. If you're brand new, my home group has a checklist on the back office that tells you what documents you need for your transactions. I'm going to save the exclusive right to sell. I'm going to save the profile sheet under residential. And I'm also going to save the sold change form because I might need to make changes to my listing. And then I'm going to go back up here and go to multiple listing. Oops, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong one. I'm going to go to AAR. I'm going to put a seller property disclosure statement in here. I'm going to pick also a real estate agency disclosure. Here's the spuds. And anything else on your checklist that needs to go in there. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I'm gonna go with that for right now. Maybe if you wanted to, you could put an addendum in there, but this is a listing, so I wouldn't really put a whole lot of documents in there. So you're gonna go here. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to create a template. Sorry, hang on, I'm in the wrong place. Transaction templates, here they are. You click on add, name it. I used to have like short sale and REO when those were really popular. You can pick what type it is, and if you want to put a description in there, you can put a description. Then you click save. And forms here. Now we'll add the forms. I went about it backwards before. An ER, a profile sheet, sold change form, add. Then we're going to go again to the plus, go to the Arizona Association of Realtors, do our SPUDs, and our READ for the seller ad. Okay, you now have a template for listings. So the next time you go in for a listing, you just click on this template and all those forms are going to be in there. If you need to put checklists in there, you can do that. I don't use a checklist anymore because I just do it off the top of my head. But if you need them, you can stick them in there and they'll be in there every time you click on that template. Then we're going to go back to templates. How do we get out of here?
How to get in there?
I went to
Settings.
settings,
Okay, thank you.
and then I went to transaction templates. And then we'll do, I named this purchase, you guys. So this is what you do if you make a mistake. You edit. This was a listing, not a purchase. So you can edit these, change them, add forms anytime you want.
Is there one for leasing too? Or?
You can make any template that you want. So if you want to do one for leases, you would just go in here and name it residential lease and add the forms that you need for that file.
So I have a question. So say AR changes the form. Is everything automatically updated?
Yes.
Okay.
In your template, not so sure. I know with zip forms it does.
Right, yeah.
Where does it store to?
Pardon me?
Where did that store at?
I'll show you when we go to do a transaction.
Oh,
Let me just show you a purchase contract real quick. So again, you click on the add button. I'm just going to name this one offer. So you can do residential lease here.
No.
If you decided, I'm going to do purchase. And by the way, on my listing, I clicked purchase. I should have clicked listing and save. And then you just go through the same process to save your forms. Click on the plus sign and add the forms that you want for your transaction. I usually will put an addendum in there, and I'll put a buyer advisory, and maybe a counter offer, cure period notice, HOA, lead-based paint, market condition advisory. See, there's a lot more when you're writing a contract. Agency for buyer, a BIMSR, residential property inspection notice, seller response, for those of you that don't know the acronym. I know we have a couple of new people in here, so bear with me. Of course, your purchase contract, we want that. And remember, you can go in here and change these anytime if you forget something. So I'm just going to go ahead and click add. And now we have templates. If you go back to your transaction templates here, I already had a couple of them in here. So now I should have 4, the ones I just created and the 2 I already had. So now we're ready. Now we're ready to write a transaction. We've got everything settled in here. You're gonna wanna do your templates for everything. If you have leases, do your leases. Just have them all ready to go so you don't have to do them every single time. So let's go back to the MLS, and we're gonna say Fred Flintstone wants to buy my listing here on Phelps. Right here under More, you click on TransactionDesk. This is gonna take you straight to the wizard to write your transaction.
It's pretty cool.
It's very cool. See? Okay, here's where you choose your template. So I'm gonna choose residential purchase. I'm importing data from the MLS. It's got the MLS number already. And if you create a transaction from TransactionDesk, it'll still give you this wizard. So you could put the MLS number in there if you wanted to. I just think it's a lot easier to start from the MLS and let it auto-populate. And then you hit create. It's that easy, you guys. You should be able to write a contract in 5 minutes.
Right?
It's
Can I ask
gonna,
you a question?
Sure.
Does it have any kind of transaction management system to it, like zip form says, as far as putting a due date in there?
yes,
No, okay.
there are tasks.
Those are checks.
Yes, and I'm not gonna have time to get to that today, but I am creating a CE class. I should have it up and running by July, hopefully. So I'm working on that. It'll be a full 3-hour class, and we should be able to get through everything. Okay, but look at how easy this is, you guys. So
Okay,
it's
I have a
gonna,
question for you. I might be jumping ahead, but
Sure.
let's say you write up that off, or Fred Flintstone, you write it up for Fred Flintstone, and then that deal doesn't get accepted, but he's still in your system. Can you edit that for another one so you don't have several offers in there?
you could, but I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I create a new one for every offer I
Okay.
write. You wanna keep track of that stuff
Right.
in case it ever comes back. And I have a client that's an investor, we write the offers all the time. So,
Okay.
I keep every one of them in my zip form. I have thousands in there. I'll copy them from zip form, but this is so much easier, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
You just go straight from whatever the MLS number is, and it'll auto-populate everything for you. Hi, Mary, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I held up.
Oh, no, it's okay. Is there any more of these, you guys?
Yeah,
We're gonna
I
short
have
the
next.
background.
Oh, well,
Here's an
we'll
extra
see-
one.
We'll see if we can get these printed out for you,
I'll take
okay?
one. I'll take one.
And again, those guides are in the back of your transaction desk if you need to look at them again.
I might have missed it, you said, but can you have both right now?
Zip form and transaction desk? Yes, you can through 2020.
320.
Through 2020. Okay, so this fills out everything for you. The list prices here, they're gonna offer me above list because, you know, I want it. And we're playing and we're having fun. Okay? And then you wanna put your earnest deposit here. They're gonna put 2,500 down. And then they're gonna put another 20,000, whatever your numbers are, okay? And make sure your numbers add up. I don't wanna do the math right now. So I know these numbers are not gonna add up. Somebody do the math for me. Anybody?
30 grand.
30 grand down?
That's all that's left.
You put 25,000.
Oh,
200 down.
sorry. 20,000 down. So 210.
210.
500? Do 210. Okay.
No.
Okay. And nothing else here, so we're gonna hit next. Offer date is today. Expiration date is tomorrow. Nothing else to fill out here right now. Go next. You want to figure out who your participants are. So this is where you would add your buyer broker if you're the buyer broker. The listing agent should show up, sorry, and your clients will show up. Then you add the buyer. If they're already in there, you can add from Google. See? You can add, if you choose to do that, you can add someone from Google. Wait, where is it? There it goes. And I can look it up.
From your Google contacts?
Huh?
Like from your Google contacts?
From your Google contacts,
Okay.
yes. If you choose to do that, you can do that. You can add them manually, add yourself, and save. Let me add, let me remove this. This is how you delete people. Create a new transaction contact. So I want to create a buyer. His name is Fred Flintstone. And it has to have an email. I'm just going to put mine. And if it's an entity, this is where you can put the preferred signature, like North Investments or the preferred initials. So if it's an investment company, I would put their investment name under Fred. I would put North Investments, and then the preferred signature would be Nicole signing as a member. And then you would put the initials here. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. And save. And save. Okay, so now Fred Flintstone's in here as your buyer. Click next. You're a little slow. All right, now you have all your forms. This should already be partially filled out because you put all that stuff on the first page. So you're going to want to change this because it didn't fill it out the way I had it, but you're going to put your numbers in here. Everybody knows how to do this part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you wanted to add a form, this little, you're going to go back to, sometimes it's confusing, you guys. Oh, right here are forms. The little house are your forms. So if you wanted to see all your forms, there's all your forms in this transaction. So let's say we're ready to send it for signatures. I haven't filled everything out, but you guys get the idea, right? Now we're going to click the little pen. It's asking if you want to do it with this form only, or you can add some forms later. So rather than just do this one form, I want to send all the forms. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go back to my forms, and I'm going to click on all the forms I want signed. Buyer broker. Oh, I included a buyer broker in my buyer purchase contract 1, 2, if you guys want to include that in yours. And then you click on the shopping cart, and you click on the pen. And that's going to take you to Authentisign. And that way you don't have to upload each document separately. You can if you choose to do that, but this way is much more efficient. All right, so it's gonna pick up whatever the last document is as the name. I like to name it offer. Your advanced options here are to send a reminder. I always click that. This does not have an expiration date. If you choose to have an expiration date, you can do that. Then we're going to go to participants. And this is where you pick your people. So we're going to pick Fred Flintstone, and just to show you how it works, I'm going to pick the seller too, because I'm representing both sides on this deal. Click add.
Does it send them in that order?
I'll show you. Up here under details, you can either have them sign in line, in order, or you can have them sign at the same time, or whoever first come, first served. Yes?
Am I understanding correctly, this will replace e-sign as well?
No.
Okay.
That is a misconception. You will have access to e-sign and zip form through 2020.
So it's just an option
Either or. Either or until then. I think a lot of the younger, newer agents are loving TransactionDesk. I like TransactionDesk for writing contracts. There's some things I like about it and some things I don't. I'm getting used to it. and I'm using it more than I am zip form. Go ahead.
Sylvia, e-sign, when you click to send the documents separately, it doesn't do it, so it's all one big package. You know, if they got that bug out of this, or,
You mean for Authentisign?
yeah, so when you send.
E-sign and Authentisign are two different programs.
Yeah, e-sign, when you pick to send them separately,
On this, what I'm looking at here, that's Authentisign.
so that'll send them separately instead of.
No,
one
Authentisign
package?
has, that's the one thing I don't like about Authentisign, is that it's one long document. However, I learned something new.
Still have SkySlope.
SkySlope will let you split the documents, and it's very easy to do, and it'll let you assign it to a placeholder as you're splitting. So that little caveat is fixed, because that was a problem I was having with it too. It would bug me that you have to go and click 4 or 5 times to download a
Or
single.
print them out and scan them separately.
Right. Okay, so advanced options, once again, if you want a reminder, and then you're gonna go to your participants, pick your participants, we're already in there. Your documents. Oh, what are they missing? That's okay, we're gonna skip that. Or it's not gonna let me.
Oh, there's an email. Just email.
Where's email?
Email's on top. It's the only thing that's missing because it's highlighted in red.
Oh gosh, thank you.
You're
I'm gonna
welcome.
put my email in there.
Oh God, you hear that? It's my shoulder.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God.
All right, let's just,
Oh, at the bottom, the yellow
we're gonna
highlighter.
remove him. Okay, I'm just gonna do my buyer. Now we're gonna go to documents. All your placeholders are in place.
Nice.
So the next thing you wanna do is go to design, because you know on the residential purchase contract, you wanna remove the one on the lead-based paint, whichever one is applicable. I find it takes a little bit longer to
I'm
post
sorry,
that
but
up.
you would probably send them in line more often, right? Because the buyer needs to sign before the offer goes out to the seller, right? So
If I was sending it to the buyer and seller, yes. Typically, I'm not sending it to
you're
them, I'm
probably
just
using that
saying.
in-line feature more than simultaneously, right?
If I were sending to the buyer and seller, yes. When I'm sending to 2 buyers, I send it
Oh,
simultaneous.
okay, I see what those are.
Mhm.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because then you gotta wait for one to sign before the other one can sign.
Right, okay.
All right, so you're gonna go through here, make sure everything is correct in the way you want it. Your initials are already in place. You're gonna wanna remove the lead-based paint. Here's how you remove a placeholder, it's just a little delete button right there. If you wanted to make that bigger, you could make it as big as you want it. And then I just go through and double check that everything's the way I want it. I always read my contracts 3 times before I send them out. I like to make this signature bigger just because I'm weird. You don't have to do that. If you need to, say you actually did download this document and these boxes were not checked, you can mark it up or you can add a checkbox. So the blue box is not optional. The red box is an optional check. So you can put represent the buyer as the buyer's broker and place it in there. The other thing you can do is mark up. If you want to type in here, you can type.
So it's really similar to e-sign.
Yes. Very. Draw circles, make mark, draw a highlight, pay attention to this. Oops. I didn't highlight. Oh, it did. It's yellow. Okay. So, there you have that. You want to just go through, make sure everything is correct. Then you're going to hit next. And you can customize your email invitation here. Please review before signing. I always say that. And save. Send invitations, and you're done.
Cool.
Bam. Yes?
Clarify something for me. Was this contract something you had sitting out there, or did you just do it from ground zero?
I did it from ground zero.
Okay, clarify this, that did the system pull over the legal description from Monsoon?
Actually, I don't know if it did, let's check. I
Well, it
think-
was
I-
there, that's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
pretty good. Mhm.
I think it does. Yep. There it is.
That's a big plus over what we got now.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just stretching my arm, sorry.
Okay. Look at that, it's 11:30, awesome. Any other questions before I move on? Yeah.
I noticed a glitch that that Apprentice Sign has been having. If you go like all the way down, it's been pulling over the office MLS ID number as the NERDS number instead. So that's something to check before you send anything.
You meaning your
like if you go all the way down to your information at the bottom, it'll have.
I
for
think
the
that's
office.
because when you set your preferences up, it puts your NERDS number in there. See, mine's right. Because I changed it in
Well,
my
for the
preferences. Let me show you.
So you have to change it manually though, right?
No.
No,
If you
for the-
change it in your preferences, right here, agent ID,
Yeah, but
my
I'm talking about
NERDS
the
number was
office
in there
ID.
before.
The
So-
office.
The office ID.
Oh,
is
the
coming up
office
as-
ID.
And they won't let
Forgive me.
you change it.
Yeah, they
It's a
don't.
pain in the butt, so you have to change it manually until they fix it. Cause they say that.
Have you said anything to them about it?
I did, and they said that, they pull the information over from the system, it has to be changed by the office,
Yeah. Oh, by our office?
yeah.
Somebody in our office has to change it? Well, then I'll talk to Kelly about it.
Yeah, cause where
I'm
it
sorry, I
says office-
misunderstood your question.
No, that's alright, where it says office ID, that's the nurse
Right.
number instead of the,
So, let's go back. So in my contract, it's gonna have
it'll have
The-
that
that
instead.
instead of the office ID number, which,
It was a glitch for a lot of people as well, but I think a lot of people's are changing now, and it's okay now.
you mean the brokerages are changing?
For the for agents, it was also pulling over NERDS numbers instead. For
Yes,
agent
that,
MLS
but
ID,
I was able to
yeah,
change that in
that's-
preferences, yes.
I
So you
know.
do have to change that, so you do have to change it here. Good point, thank you for pointing that out. Anybody else? Questions? Are we ready to talk about Skyslope, or do we want to get into TransactionDesk a little more? See if you create it from here, let me just show you. It's pretty much the same thing, except it doesn't have any of your templates. You're just gonna need to give it an MLS number and it'll pull it up. But it's so quick. It's so easy. This is also, I didn't talk about the fact that you can download this as a mobile app. And in order to do that, you have to get a code.
It's under the gears,
Thank you.
and it's under integrations, I believe.
That's top producer. Linked devices, there it is.
Oh, cool.
So, see this activation code here? You're gonna need to click on that and get your activation code, download your app on your device, and then put the code in, and it will link everything up together. So you can use it on your phone, or your iPad, or your computer. And it should sync everything up, and all the information should be the same. Let's see if I've forgotten anything else. Anything on this page you want me to explain, guys? Everybody understand how to create a transaction, how to set up your preferences? Good.
How did you set up your transactions and save them?
What do you mean?
Where did you go into?
What do you mean?
Her templates, I think is what she
My
said.
templates, you go into the gears, and you click on transaction templates,
Thanks.
and then you click on the little plus sign, and you start the wizard there. So whatever.
So is the name of there, is that your listing, residential listing?
Well, it depends on what template you're doing, yeah, so it'll be
That's-
residential listing,
Because the type
residential
also says
purchase.
that.
Yeah, but so, like back in the day when we had a lot of short sales, I'd have a residential short sale,
Right.
I'd have a residential REO, I'd have an equity buyer, so they would all still be a residential purchase, but they would all have different names and different documents in
Right.
them.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Yes?
When somebody was asking about if the forms come over separately after you sign, once you go into the signature spot after everybody signed, it does have it all together, but then it'll also have them laid
It
out
will,
one by
and let me
one.
show you how that works.
It's kind of a pain in the butt.
It is a real pain in the butt, and I don't like it, okay? You can, once somebody signs something, sorry, let me get in here. So, this is the original document, or I'm sorry, final document, so these are revisions I made before they signed, and then this is the final document. And it'll be all one long PDF. Annoying. But, oh, and then you have to click 3 times. This is another thing that's annoying to me. Okay, I'm here, now I have to click here again. And now I have to click here again to download. You don't do that with eSign. It actually sends it to your email and you download the zip form and all the forms are in there and you don't have to separate them.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't want to send like everything to the cross agent.
Exactly. So, if you do want to do the documents separately, you're going to close this. I only have one document in here, but this is where you would do the separate documents. It would all be listed here separately. And once again, you got to click, click, click. One thing that it will send you an email saying that there is a final revised document. It's going to send you this final document, which is a long PDF. That brings me to SkySlope. So, in SkySlope, you can split your forms and assign them to placeholders. For those of you who are new, you will receive a SkySlope sign-in when you create your first transaction. Let me show you. I think I have. Yeah, we're gonna upload Dolores. I'm gonna create a transaction for you because I haven't done her yet. I don't think. Listings. No. Okay. So when you're in SkySlope, you go to create a listing. I will always put it in the MLS first because then everything will auto-populate. You have 72 hours to get your documents in for compliance. So you type in your address. Click Let's Go. And it found my listing on the MLS. I'm actually creating this because I haven't uploaded these documents to SkySlope yet. I just put this on the market yesterday. So yes, this is my listing. It is a resale listing. Next question, that is the price. The commissions are 2% on each side. Because my poor lady just bought this house 6 months ago. And expiration date. Year built. It's all filled out. Select your source. This is a previous customer. If you need to put a company in, this is where you would put that. If it's an entity as opposed to a person. And then create my listing. So, It's gonna show you the documents that are required. When you, up here, you see this tab documents here? This is where you would upload the big, long PDF. So you would, I don't have one in my system to upload, but you would upload it here. Let me go back to a current transaction because it has documents in it. Okay, you see when you upload your documents and they're all in here? Right here you can split it. So you would enter it as one document and then hit split, and it's gonna ask you where you want it, and see how it says split and assign? Then you can put it right in the placeholder that it needs to be in. So that's a pretty cool little thing right there.
Yeah.
That eliminates the drama of the one long PDF.
What did you originally load that document up as? Because I'm always looking for a placeholder to put it with.
Well, you're putting it under documents, not under checklist.
Oh, okay.
Under documents, not under checklist.
Okay.
I think better.
So it's not giving it a placeholder until you tell it to.
But if you did, you could split it out of checklists too.
And when you create your transactions, I don't know how many people know this. This is the email address for this transaction. You can email your documents straight into SkySlope. So someone sends you over everything signed, you just copy this email address and email it.
So then does it automatically split it for you to
No.
the folders you need to go in and pull?
Yeah,
pull
so
it
like
behind?
say you had that real long PDF.
So you're saying put in documents before you go to checklist?
Yes, if you need to split it. I would usually have more documents in here, and I don't have a real long PDF. I also have Adobe, so I can split my PDFs in Adobe, which I haven't been doing because usually e-sign will split them for you. Anyway, so now that I emailed that document in here, I can go to my checklist, or I'll go to documents. It's going to be in here. Or it will be in a minute anyway. There it is. So if I needed to split it, I think there's an agency disclosure. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I can show you just how to do it. So we're gonna put it in that spot, and I want pages 1 to 7. And then page 8 is going to be my agency, and split and assign. Cool. So now we're going to go to our checklist and see how that worked. The ER's in. My agency disclosure did not go in. I don't know what I did wrong there, but it's still going to be in my documents. Right there, I can assign it because I emailed it in.
So
And it gets assigned.
I might be a little bit lost. You said after you go to create the transaction, you have it signed, and you get one big document back from your buyer. So you don't want to send all of those to the seller. You would first go to documents over here and split it, and then send it from here to your seller, is what you're saying?
If you don't want to send all the documents to your seller, I would go into Authentisign and download the documents separately. It would be much easier than trying to split the document.
Can you, if you were to take this next step, because it's going to be a step anyway, can you send them from, after you split them from documents in here to your seller?
Yes,
It's actually kind of easier.
yes,
That way you don't have to split them.
yes. So you would go to documents.
Oh, no, from Untitled. Because you can click on them individually.
Yeah, see right here, you can email it right there. You just click
So
on the
you
box.
can choose the ones after you split them
And
to
then
fill
email
out.
it, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. And that is how you create a transaction in SkySlope. The most important documents on your transactions that have to be in within 72 hours are your listing agreement and your purchase contract and your agency disclosure. The other documents, you're not going to get in so much trouble if you don't get them in right away. But I do suggest you get them in as soon as you get them.
I'm sorry, I know this class isn't on SkySlope, but can you also?
It actually is on SkySlope.
Oh, can you import a third-party document into SkySlope?
Yes.
And have it signed or send out for signatures in there?
To sign, that's Authentisign, not SkySlope.
That would be an authentic sign.
So yes, you can. Let me show you how to do that. So you want to click on Create Authentisign, or if you're in the dashboard, you can start here. You can assign it to a transaction
Oh, okay.
if you want to, or you don't have to.
Right.
It just has to have a name. Save it.
And they will go into that transactions folder, actually.
Correct.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you just go through the same steps. And this is where you're going to add your documents. So,
Can you import that from an outside? Like,
yes, right
file
here
or-
where it says add.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to click add again, and there's where you can upload.
Oh, okay.
You can upload from your computer,
Gotcha.
Google Drive, you can select from forms or transactions, by fax. Your print driver, remember I told you about the print driver? Did I talk about that? Yes.
Earlier.
Okay. Question?
Wonder like who uses
No, I was
fax
just
as
gonna add a
anymore.
comment and then I'll be
Go
quiet.
It says upload by
So you can also, like, it just started probably like a couple weeks ago where all the documents that are on the Documents tab for the MLS are automatically uploaded to the documents.
Really?
So you don't have to, like, separately upload your HOA addendum. It's,
But it won't be signed.
no, but it'll be there so that you don't have to upload it yourself. So
Gotcha.
it's under the documents though, not under forms.
Right. Okay, that's good to know.
Everything.
Good to know. So it's
Nothing-
pulling your documents up automatically from the MLS. If
Yes.
there's like documents in the document tab,
Oh, cool.
Oh.
TransactionDesk is pulling those documents into your documents section. Thank you for that tip.
But if they're saved anywhere else, you can use this.
Correct.
Or any document.
Correct. Correct. And then when you go back, it's going to be in your documents tab.
Did you say it has to be saved to a transaction? Or
It does
can
not
you
have to be
just-
saved to a transaction.
It can
See,
just
like
go-
right there where it says fax back cover sheet, if you have like do you have an HOA addendum? up
Show me
there?
where you're at.
Bottom
Bottom.
left. If you scroll, if you had an HOA addendum or anything, in your documents tab, everything would be showing right there.
Right.
In that
And the other
box.
way to get to that is, once you open this up and you're open, it'll show you. Oops, sorry. Wrong thing. Go to details. I'm sorry. I'm messing up here. The front, obviously right where she says documents, this is the easiest way to get to it. You can get to documents from the top too when you're filling this out.
So it would be everything though, even the stuff that you don't necessarily want, like if they had instructions that were specific to them or
Right.
their disclosures.
Whatever is in the documents tab on the MLS, so whatever they've uploaded will go in there.
Sorry, I'm a little, so when, you have already answered this, when documents are signed, they come back to where when they're signed to us? Where do you find them again? Back in their file?
Documents.
You're gonna find it here under Authentisign. Each one of these is a different signature. Or you can click on the pen, and all of these are different transactions.
Okay.
So the form,
Whether
It's
they're
gonna be
signed
right
or not
here.
signed,
Do we get a notification that they're in?
you
yeah,
do.
in your email?
You'll get an email and it will have a link that you can download the final document, which is the long PDF, if there's more than one document in your signing.
So you can download it from an email or logging back in.
Correct.
And I'm sorry, could you show where that SkySlope email was that you can fax your documents into one more time? What
Yes.
screen it was on?
Whatever transaction it is,
Right.
let's just pick one here. Right here.
Oh, it's on the first page, okay.
And it's usually the address, the street number, or the street name, then the house number at skyslope.com. I love this feature. Use it
What do you use it
all the
for?
time. If, you know, to get all your documents into Skyslope all at once without having to upload them individually, you can email them to this
Nice.
email address, and it will show up in your documents tab. And when you go to your checklist, you can just, you know, whatever the document is, if you click attach, it'll show up here. It's not showing up because I don't have any documents in my documents tab here, but it will show up here and you can just assign it. Does that make sense to everybody? Anybody have a
You
questions?
said they're also all saved in MLS and TransactionDesk now, so you don't really have to save them to your cloud or to your computer.
Documents are not saved in our MLS automatically, but
Oh.
and in your transaction desk, you have to save them yourself. They're not automatic.
Okay, so it did not store the files in TransactionDesk,
It stores the files that you make,
the templates that you create.
the templates and any offers that you write.
Sure.
But if you wanted to put,
Any documents that were in the template that were created or sent out, those are stored in the TransactionDesk.
correct,
Right. Okay.
correct.
And that-
Yeah, if you have any other documents that you want to include,
You'd have to move
like
them
for
in.
your protection, get a home inspection or one of those, you can upload it into the documents tab.
Okay. So that could kind of replace your storing on your Google Drive or your.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I haven't moved over yet, but I'm an old dog trying to learn new tricks. So, you know, I like having it right on my computer. You know, I save it to my Google Drive and my computer and I mean, I'm redundant. I want to make sure I'm not going to lose anything. So, and I save everything. Every offer I write gets saved, everything. Question?
What other, in TransactionDesk, what other, from the home screen? What other, is this it?
This is the home screen.
From TransactionDesk?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not my
I thought you said Skyslope.
What other things are you using, either on the side, what you find that you're using a lot, those like, the sidebar links on the left?
This is your transactions. So it'll pull up the transactions separately. This goes straight to Authentisign. This is your documents, or your forms, I'm sorry. This is your Dropbox where you would save your documents like if you were going to get rid of Google Drive. Here's your task manager. If someone was asking me about tasks earlier, if you could assign tasks that need to be done in days, you know, like if your 10-day inspection period and when that's due.
Can you do like a template for your task management as well? Like after this many days, you know, we've got to get our binder out this many days.
Right, and make it a template? That's a really good question.
Like I don't, like my CRM does that, I was just curious.
I'm not sure, but I want to say that the answer is probably,
Okay.
and I will look into that and put it in the class next time so that I know. Yeah, see, because this is one I created earlier and it's still in here. So I would think that you could
Yeah,
make
I
a
think
template
so.
for your regular due dates, just like each one has.
What's the difference when they do the settings and say drag and drop or sort?
What are we in here?
You're in program settings when you're changing your settings. You get to pick sort or drag and drop under program settings. So in any of those it says drag and drop or sort, so I happen to be in checklist settings. And see, it says drag and drop if you go to that thing, or it says sort. What's the difference?
Do you know? I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Because it's hard in the way this works to drag and drop, because it's not like the forms are on this side and you can drag and drop. And then when you're trying to set up your templates, so I set up all my shells, how do I get the forms inside my templates?
So you're going to go to settings, transaction templates.
Settings, transaction templates. So I set my templates, so I have templates like you, but I don't have any forms in them.
Okay, so
how do
you're
you
going to
do
go in. I didn't, alright, we're gonna save it as a, let's do a lease. Update.
Right, so I have all that.
Then you're gonna go down here to forms. And you're gonna click the plus sign. And you're gonna pick what forms you want in there. So, whatever forms you want in there. Add. And then
Okay, so I didn't go that far down,
Mhm.
sorry, thank you.
you're welcome. You can also share for people on Teams. You can share your documents with each other.
That was the next question, because I tried going to settings and then not from this but prior to, and there's like a sharing and find names, and I'm having problems with, so I've emailed tech support, and they're saying we're still showing in two different brokers. But now that has been corrected, we still can't find each other.
Well, did you add it in, make a group? You have to create a group.
Okay, I did. I think I just put her name. Because I think I initially thought I was just searching her name, so I think the group name is her name. But
And then you add people to the group. So once you make your group, then you're gonna add your people to the group.
yeah, and people are still not showing that.
And then you wanna figure out what privileges they get. Full privilege, read only, or write only.
But that is where you do it, right? Or you can just do it on per transaction basis.
Yes. We have a few more minutes. Any more questions? What did you guys think of the class?
Really good.
And he doesn't want that, because I wonder was willing to fund it
Let me know if you think there's something I missed or should add, or any way that I can make the class better for you
Here's the
guys.
thing, we found two
I like
solutions,
that,
we found two
the
solutions.
task list
We can hold
showing
back
you
the
the
money
date.
until you've
To
done with your
remind you the
lawsuit.
date and the home inspection.
Okay.
You get that
and all that.
disbursement, the last
Okay.
budget, you
That
get
would be
most of
really
it,
helpful.
but we're
Okay,
getting back
I can do
the
that.
title
And I
company.
can borrow.
Or you let us, it's my buyer's insurance.
Okay, critical
You let
due
it
date
be out
list.
that
Yeah,
lien,
how about that?
that
That'd be
legal
great,
lien.
yeah, perfect.
And then you can still sue him anyways, but he won't do it. So, that's free to
All right,
contract.
any other
because
questions?
We found two
Do you know if
solutions.
I know there's a way to add
I'm curing him, oh
documents,
yeah.
broker documents?
Because we
so
found
that
a
we can just pull
solution,
them
it's like
directly
the seller
from-
saying.
You'll have to add them yourself.
We had this
They're
problem
not
during
going to
escrow,
create a library?
and we found a solution, but now
No.
I just changed my mind, I just
I'll
don't wanna
ask.
sell the house.
They're the only ones that can,
I'm curing
according to
him down,
the
consulting my
tech
real estate
support.
attorney.
Okay, let me write that down too. I've already
I just told
put.
Liz he needed it.
So many steps.
I'm sick of her.
What kind of forms do you want back there?
Like the forms that, like maybe wire fraud or.
But she says it's a bit of ethics.
They- well, brokers, anything that would be like in the,
She thinks it's a bit
Google
of
Drive
ethics
right
with
now,
the
that would
client.
be
Where's the
transaction
ethics?
specific.
With
Okay.
my client, and your fucking
I'll
client.
ask.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, broker specific.
Okay. Anybody else? Awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. She understands.
If you guys have any questions, you feel free to contact me, email me, text me, call
There's
me.
no ethics on hearing about best interest of my seller. And I understand where he's coming from with the lien holder, but